Good morning. It's just after 5 here in Calgary. This is a series on ease as the foundation of strength because I fundamentally believe that in order for us to progress from being out of pain and then into a much more functional, pain-free way of life, we need to be able to bring ease that we gain as we rehabilitate and reduce the pain. We need to bring that ease through into all of the progress that we do. So we take the awareness that we've grown and built and taking it even further and deeper as we get stronger, because it's such a foundational piece to being stronger and having that be sustainable. So it's not that there's ease over here and there's strength and power over here. It's ease weaves through it all so that we have this sustainable ease and strength. So with that, we're going to play with some downward dog and some planks today. I highly do not recommend this if you've got wrist or elbow issues or shoulder issues. I'm obviously not in your space to customize for you. There's other things in this feed that would be much more appropriate. We're going to begin with the strap and we're going to begin in standing. So you're here and I want you just to be aware of yourself in Tadasana and your feet, and you're going to take the strap and you're going to loop it. So the loop is about shoulder width apart, about. You might need to make it a little bit smaller. And then you're taking it over your elbows, so you're on the upper part of your arm, and you're here, okay? And the arms are just gonna rest down beside you for a moment as I wait for you guys to join in with me. And the idea is that it's snug, but it's not like you're not reducing the flow of nerve or fluid like lymph or blood, and so your hands won't feel like they're getting full. If they're feeling like they're getting full, then the strap is likely too tight. Okay, if your hands are going blue, likely the strap is too tight. Okay, so now from here I want you just to feel your bottoms of your feet, the ball of the foot, the base of the pinky toe, the center of the heel, so you're on that tripod. And then from there, you're just going to move your arms back. So just the arm bone, this is an arm bone in the shoulder socket, just the arm bone moves back into extension. So watch that you're not doing it from your elbows. So you're only moving as far as it's that arm coming back. You don't need to pull your shoulder blades down. You don't need to pull your shoulder blades together. You just need to move those arms back. Yeah? Good. And again, just notice what you feel. If there's pain, strain, if there's an increase in discomfort, then just ease back a little bit. Then I want you to bend your elbows so that your forearms become parallel to the floor. And you're going to gently bring those arms back. Again, this is a movement of extension, not retraction of your blades. So we're not coming into, you see this? We're not pulling the blades together. We're not doing that. That is a movement, but that's not what I'm teaching you here. We're just extending those arms back. So pay attention to the ribs. Pay attention if the ribs want to move forward. And only move your arms back as far as those ribs don't want to move forward, because we've got a group of muscles that attach to the coracoid process of the shoulder blade, and either onto the ribs or onto the arms. And if that area is limited, then that can be a reasoning for the ribs then want to poke forward. So just stay within the available range that you have. And you might not feel any stretch up in there, but that's not the idea, because remember, stretch is just a sensation. It doesn't mean really much else. It doesn't mean you're doing a movement properly, because we can compensate our way into anything and feel a stretch. Okay, great. And let that come down. Okay, now let's just be here in standing, and now notice what you feel. And bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then pull the blades back and then down. Shoulders come up to the ears, blades come back and then down. And you can bring in the breathing so that you're inhaling the shoulders up and exhaling the blades back and down. Inhaling up, exhaling the blades back and down. And be aware of those bottoms of the feet. Awesome. Okay, let's take a side bend. So feel the bottoms of the feet again. Side bend over this way. So think about you being a teapot and the water's coming out your armpit, down the inner side of your arm and your hand, and into a tiny little cup on the floor. And then come back up this way, and then side bend. Okay, good, and then come back up. Come down onto the floor. We're going to take one leg out to the side. All right, and now we're going to take another side bend. If you want, you can start to bring the hand up to the shoulder and alongside the ear if you'd like. You might be wondering, Susie, where are the downward dogs in the plank? We're getting there. Good, and then coming back up. Good, and then over to the other side. And then here. Good, and then side bend. Think about a big beach volleyball, or big beach ball. So we don't want to put a whole bunch of weight through this hand, just little butterfly pressure. That was a cue that I heard way, probably the first 3 weeks of my ever doing yoga, and it stuck with me. Because when we use butterfly pressure through our hands, for example, in here, then the other parts of the body that are meant to be doing the work have to do the work. So it's a great cue that really highlights this idea of ease as a foundation of strength. You can simply not put a bunch of weight in through your hands in a position like this, right? And you'll notice that other parts of your body that are, hopefully, the ones that are meant to be doing it, will kick in a bit more. Same thing if you go into your triangles or extended side angles and you do those, keep your hands really light on the block or on your legs. Okay, so now let's come over here. We're going to take the toes under and just have a little seat. Now this might be too much here, so if you need to put a block underneath your knees, then put a block under your knees. And what that will do is that will just put the knees up a little bit higher, make the angle a bit different at your hips. And then easily breathe. Okay, good, come on up. Now, we're gonna do the same idea, but in a lunge. So we're in a lunge, back toes come under, and let's bring ourselves forward. Again, you might be still wondering, Susie, when are we getting to the downward dogs and planks? We're getting there. Press that heel back. Good, and then other side. Toes come under, and then lunge forward. Now, as you're lunging forward, sometimes what can happen is people can really push through this upper part where the thoracic spine meets the lumbar spine, and they go into a back bend. Now, when you do move into a lunge and you go past, like your femur, your leg bone has about 3 to 11 degrees of actual movement of extension, so this back leg, and then your pelvis will come into an anterior tilt. So there will be that happening. The question is if you're, or the thought is if you're limited through your pelvis and your legs, you might then start to drive as a compensatory pattern through here. Maybe. So just watch if that's what your ribs are doing. And just move in the range where your pelvis and your legs actually can move. Okay, good. Now, come back. Now, let's come down to the floor. And now we're in tabletop. So this is something we played with in yesterday's practice, was tabletop, and doing a little bit of push-up. Now, from here, what I want you to think about is, or what I want you to, think about, be aware of, feel, is your blades are going into retraction and then protraction. We're not coming into cat and cow. We're going into a retraction, protraction. But notice if you want to go into a cow. And can you make this movement more about retraction, protraction? And notice if you want to bend your elbows. Keep your elbows not locked, but straight. Okay, now let's come into cat and cow. So cow first, and then we're coming into cat. You can do it however you want to do it. There's so many ways of doing this movement. So whether you want to undulate from the pelvis up, or from the head down, or if you just want to do your own version, however you do it. Just be aware of what's going on between your pelvis, your spine, your shoulder girdle, and your head. And, of course, your breathing. Okay, and now from here, take your toes under and just lift your knees ever so slightly off the floor. Ever so slightly. So what you've done is you've moved from 6 points, hands, knees, and feet, to 4 points, just an inch off the floor. So something in your body has taken the load. Okay, good, bring that down. Okay, and again. So I always recommend to people that they don't brace first before they lift, right? Because lots of times people can get, let's brace first in anticipation, I better protect myself. What I would love for you to think about is being responsive. So you're moving from 6 to 4, let your body respond to the load change, right? Because when we're outside walking around, we're not, unless we're approaching ice, which is what we have a little bit of around here, that's a different story. But we're not like bracing, we're not bracing ourselves as we walk. We're being responsive to the load changes as we walk. Yeah? Okay. Now we're going to move back and forth like this. We're going to go through our shoulders and our hips, this movement. But the idea is watch what my knees are doing. Okay? When I bring myself back up to 4 points, watch my knees. See how my knees are not really changing the height? They're staying at about an inch. So it's not this motion. We're not going there yet. What I want you to really feel is the movement between your hips and your shoulders. Your legs will probably feel this a little bit. Don't want to give an expectation there, but go slow so that you actually are moving between your hips and your shoulders. Okay, great. Good. Okay, now from here, let's move our way up into dog. Now, you might already be there before I've even gone there. I know you know dog, but can you take it from this place of what are my shoulders and my hips doing as I come up into my dog? And then come back down. Okay, let's do that again. So back up. We're going to be here for a few breaths. Okay, good. And come back down. Let's do that one more time. All right, lovely. Come down. Okay, come back to your tabletop. I'm just going to scooch here in front of my screen a bit. Let me do it this way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one foot back, followed by the other foot. So now we're in plank. Good, and now drop. Okay, I'm going to show you another version so that you can get to decide what you want to do. Toes come under, knees lift. Now we're at 4 points. We went from 6 points to 4 points. Now we're going to come and shift the points again, and then back. Okay, so it's not about busting this out. It's about noticing your movement. So when your toes come under rather, knees lift. We shift weight over to the foot that's going to stay where it is. You'll probably notice some more strength in that leg, and then bring the other leg back. Now watch what happens with my back. This is a movement between my hip and my knee. Yeah? That's what I want you to focus in on. Okay, and then come back. Now you decide how you want to come into your plank. Do you want to come into your plank like this? Or do you want to lift your knees and come into your plank like this? Right? They're different, yeah? So you decide. We're going to do a few of those. So you decide. You can go here. Feel the load change. That's what I would love for you to experience here. Not just another series of planks, but really notice the shift of load when you go from 4 or 6 to 4, then changing it up. So try not just to go into it automatically on autopilot. Okay, so now we're going to go from plank, go into it however you want, and then from plank into downward dog. So now we're going to come here and here. Now this is going to be a bit of a longer dog. That's all right. Bit of a longer dog, and then come back to plank. Just a different version. I was at the dog park the other day. There's small dogs and there's big dogs. There's fat dogs and there's skinny dogs. So we're just doing a long dog. We're doing a hot dog. A little dash down. Long dog. Or maybe yours is a Great Dane. Good. Good, okay. And then come back down into tabletop. Okay, now from here, let's play around with moving the blades towards the spine and then back. Retract, protract. Now notice if there's any distinction in what you feel between your ribs and your pelvis. Particularly if you were somebody who wanted to do something like that before. Without tucking the ribs in, try not to do that. Just move those blades. Retraction, protraction. Okay, now choose the dog of your choice. So whether it's dog coming from tabletop or whether it's dog coming from plank, you choose your dog, and we're going to go up into it, long or smaller. We're going to go up into it and stay for a number of breaths. And just be aware. Be aware of what it is you're experiencing. Okay, and then come on back. Great, perfect, lovely. All right, so now let's come back into kneeling. Bring one leg out to the side, and let's find our way into that side bend again. Feel that beach ball. Bring the arm up alongside the ear if you want, or you can keep it here. Watch what you're doing with this hand, how much pressure you've got on through the hand, and then coming on back up. Good, other side. And to the side we go. Good, and then come back up and come down onto your back, knees bent. We're going to come into a little bridge. So feel your feet, balls of your feet, base of the pinky toe, center of the heel. The movement is one of extension. So the angle of the hip here is getting bigger as we come up. Yeah. So the movement of your glutes is helping drive the movement up. Now the distinction here, where a lot of people kind of get a bit sideways about glutes and back bends, is we're not squeezing together in a way that you're holding a pickle up your butt. I know that's a really bad analogy, but you get the idea. But in the act of moving up, there is tonality in your glutes because that needs to extend the hip. So we don't want to soften the bum, but we do want to pay attention. Are you like gripping it and holding this pickle or whatever else you might be holding? Yeah. Is that how you're doing it? So you might want to put a block between your legs or a strap around your legs. Even place your hands perhaps on the outside of your thighs, just your fingers even, and just maybe press your legs a little bit into your hands. And that might get the outer hip going a little bit, and that might, I mean, I can't see you, that might free you up a little bit to not go pickle butt, is what I'll call it. Not pickle ball, pickle butt. Okay, we're going to do one more, and this time we're going to hold it for a few breaths. Feel those points on the bottom of your feet, ball of the foot, base of your pinky toe, center of your heel. And just feel them. You don't need to press Toes are easy. Breath is easy. Nice. And then come on down. All right, keep the feet where they are. And let's bring the legs out, rotate them into a butterfly, and then bring the legs back, and then out, and then back. Bring the hands to the front of your hips. Let those be easy. So the hip flexors don't need to fire as you move the legs. Last one. Great. Straighten one leg away from you. Other leg comes up towards your belly. Let's take that into a twist. And then coming back, and other side. Leg comes up, bring it into a twist. Nice. And then come on back up. Lovely. Take a moment to breathe. And you can stay on your back for as long as you like, or you can come up into sitting. And you might just want to do more of a practice. You might want to go for a walk. You might want to come join me for breakfast. A number of things you might want to do next. Whatever you do, allow yourself to take whatever it is that you feel now into the rest of your day. All right? You have a lovely, lovely day. Thank you for joining me. Mwah. I will see you tomorrow for some back to basics. Have a really, really, really great day.